Give a brief synopsis of your movie. What effective teaching practices did you observe?
Okay, well, my movie that I watched was Stand and Deliver, and it was the main character in that movie was Mr. Escalante, but the students call him Chemo. He was a new teacher to the school, Garfield High School in Eastern LA. He was placed with a bunch of students that were misbehaving, and basically like the class that nobody wanted to teach or cared about teaching, or cared about in general. That class was the AP Calc class that he was teaching, and he did everything that he could do in his power to help the kids become, I guess you could say, to help them learn and to help them become better students, better people, all of that. He cared for them. He showed he cared for them. Even if he did things differently and out of the ordinary, or maybe have done things that they didn't like necessarily, he cared about them genuinely. And from the practices that I learned that I could probably use as teaching, he used different games to like get the students interested, to keep them interested in the subjects. He used objects like in the movie he used apples. That was one of the first things he used. He used apples of different sizes. He cut out certain pieces of them and asked the students what they had. And it was a math lesson. Even though they didn't understand it at first, that was his introduction, helping them understand like certain that you can use math in everyday situations. He also used group interactions. This is like when he did his lessons, he made the students talk aloud, and he used group discussions to get everyone incorporated into the lessons. He made them like chant things so they remember it, and he did it repetitively so they could, I guess, retain the information that they were learning, or find certain ways to help them.
What is something that you know now that you didn't know before?
Something that I know from the movie, I see that some administrators in the school system didn't care at all about the students. Other than like certain teachers, it was the administrators whose priorities is to keep students and help them pass to go to the next level. The administrators in the school were trying to get rid of the students instead of helping them improve their test scores. They didn't care about since they had behavioral problems and their learning and test scores were down. They didn't feel like they should waste their time on the students, and so they tried to get rid of them and do all they could in their power without making it seem evident to get rid of the students.
What shocked you about the movie?
Um, a part that shocked me in the movie, how when the students actually did do well on the test, they did exceptionally well, and the administrators didn't feel like that it was true. They thought that they cheated. They thought that they got a way out of it. That they made got to their test scores was false. Like it was impossible for them. I felt that because they brought in extra people to try and weed out a lie, or weed out that they didn't actually make those test scores by themselves. I found that shocking that administrators didn't care enough to actually take that as a as a good sign that they're improving. But yet, better yet, they took it as a negative. They forced ill thoughts on the students and thought that they were incapable of what they had done, and they didn't like it.
How did the movie influence your motivation to teach? How does it relate to your life?
Um, in a way that it helps my motivation. It gives me the chance to think that in the future I will be changing someone's lives, to be their influence, to help them want to do good and not belittle them, put them down for their mishaps. And motivation wise, it'll also let me, it'll help me be the best teacher that I can be for my students and help them succeed and let them know that someone cares about them.